Just Police Andre Wade. Just come to speak on some things that I reviewed today and some things that I heard. I was uh, looking at a young lady's show and she was speaking about uh, situation going on with her husband that took place when she had received a phone call and he was having a medical condition. And I just want to respond to that, and I hope you watching my show because she normally watches my show, and I just want to speak on the fact that uh, in TDCJ, there are some things they do that they don't think about at the time that affect their jobs, and so many men in prison they uh they play sick. They play sick. I'm talking about there's a lot of offenders in these facilities that play sick just to do whatever it is that they playing sick for. So when somebody is sick, then the medical don't want to. They don't want to do what's right towards that inmate because they feel like he's playing games, especially when it comes to our breathing and our hearts and everything. I remember a time when a guy had called and he had told him that he was having chest pains. So when he went to the medical, they told him it was heartburn. He was all right. It was just heartburn. So when he left the medical, got by the chow house, he fell and died. He had a heart attack. But I can understand the fact that, like you say, young lady, about the condition of the facility. It's not based on trying to just make it a comfortable place for offenders because we are criminals and we do criminal things that cause us to go to prison. So when we go to prison, there's an action that's going to be taken against us, and there's some things we're going to have to do because we're incarcerated. But when you're talking about situations like your situation, when your husband was really sick, and they know it's like me, I was a diabetic, but I just thank God for the fact that my medical condition, I was received in a caring manner of every facility I went to, and you say that the warden said he's a modern inmate, but uh, I'm serious. You can take an offender that can curse out a nurse. Okay, hear me out. Let's say this offender cursing this nurse out, but it's another nurse observing that situation. So it comes another time where that same offender that was cursing that nurse out was coming for some help, and now he's going to see this nurse. That nurse ain't gonna do nothing for him because that nurse is gonna remember the time when he was cursing out that other nurse. So much it involves in feeding offenders, housing offenders, giving offenders a medical attention. It just goes on in these prisons, and every day the medical department is getting a phone call where the offender need medical help or the offender having chest pain. And it's just so many games that's played, and they think you playing game every time the phone rang. And you have some units don't have medical, right? So they have to transfer you to a facility that's close that has the medical at certain times of the day because some medical close early on some facilities. So they have to ship the other offender to another facility that has a medical at that time of night. But like I say, those officers and these nurses, they play so much game on these units that you have to take this further than the warden. You have to go further than the warden because see, you can call and you can ask somebody, and they try to cover up for each other. They try to cover up for the sergeant covering up for the lieutenant covering up. It's just for the sergeant and the captain covering up for the lieutenant. It just goes on and on because these units is built in these areas where these same people that's working them units are family members. They are husbands and their wives, their sisters and brothers. Seriously. So if and you want this person to do something against this person, they're not going to do it because they're family members. Their ex-wives, their ex-husbands, they know one another. So we have to sometimes go further than that area and with our complaints. We have to go some places where outside of that area, because if the inmate is in on Ramsey, okay, so he's in the Roche Sharon area. So all those officers is working there are from Roche Sharon, they from Angleton, they know one another, they went to school with one another. So they're gonna lie for one another in situations. Seriously, I've seen it. I've seen it as an offender where they plot and come together to lie when they know they done something wrong. Because them people kill you in there. Them people kill you in there. And hide it. They'll hide it. So, my response is to the young lady with the problem is, if you watching my show, is that you need to go outside of that warden of that facility. Go somewhere else with your complaint and bring in the people that's gonna follow up your complaint. Even though, and like you say, he's made parole, and that's one of those things that the offender has to be pay attention of, because if you done made parole, your everyday walk has to be clear. You can't get in nothing to lose that parole when it's been given to you. If you made parole and you going home in 45 days, that's got to be the best 45 days you ever did time in. You have to be straight. You do. You have to be straight. You can't get in no confrontation, because it's not so much of them planting stuff in yourself, because see, that's some of the things they did back in the 70s. A lot that goes on today is behind, love affairs that's inside these prisons. You got these dudes with these love affairs, and they might make parole, and the lover might go plant something on the lover, yeah, just to stop them from going home, yeah. But ain't too many officers is really trying to stop nobody from going home. I just haven't seen that in my time, but I know it's been played on through time, even up to today. So we're not going to overlook anything inside of tdcj, but he's going to come home, and he's going to come home well. He got, I've seen it also. I mean, I've seen so much. I've seen offenders die before they go home. I just seen so much in doing the 20-something years of my incarceration inside the walls of confinement, but I also seen men go home. I seen men just get back away from everything. I seen men just get back from everything and make parole. They go home. Because our actions can cause and bring trouble upon ourselves. Word of mouth is something else. Word of mouth is something else. So you have to pay attention to the things that comes out of your mouth when we're in these kind of situations. Because freedom is what we're trying to gain. We're not trying to give them more time than we have to. We're not trying to go there on a visit on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. We're trying to hug at home. So, hey, he went through a situation where I remember when I got jumped on by the laws, and they took me in an area was with no cameras, and they beat me up because I beat a Puerto Rican up. And these are the things that goes on when they want to do something wrong to you. They're gonna try to do everything they can where it won't be nothing seen. So the best thing is to stay out their way. Stay out their way. Because if you stay out their way, you won't give them no reason to mess with you. Because, like I say, hey, I've seen it all in prison. I've seen where these officers only mess with people that do ignorant stuff. And we got some ignorant inmates in tdcj. We have some ignorant inmates in tdcj. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. We can come to visitation, we can say things to our loved ones, but our loved ones really don't know what's really going on inside. Take the complaint outside of the area of the facility. Take it to Huntsville. Take it to somebody that's out of that jurisdiction, but will act up on your comment, your complaint. They'll look up on it. They'll check up on it and find what's going on. But if he close to coming home, let him come home. Tell him to come home. Don't worry about that stuff. We just give it to God. Give that to God. He finna come home. And we'll work on it out here. We'll work on the things that's going on in there. See, that's what this is for. That's what these programs are for. That's what these for. These death releases and all this, so that we can come together with something. We can come together with something to stop all this. But if you're close to coming home, come home. Let that other stuff. Pray on it. Pray on it, because that's what I do on a daily basis. This is Andre Wade with Just Release, and I'll be back.